This is the Fox 5 News Block.
Breaking news in Sweden, the deadliest mass shooting in the country's history. At least 10 people are dead and the death toll could rise. And after President Trump's tariffs on China go into effect, China is now retaliating with tariffs of its own. What this means for trade between the two countries. Good afternoon. I'm Arthur Chien. Welcome to the News Block. Those stories in a moment. But first, this is a live look outside. That's Midtown right now. It's been blue skies and maybe one of the nicest days we've had so far this year. Let's bring in Liv Johnson for our first look at the forecast. Hey, Liv.
Hey, Arthur, you're right. It has been a beautiful day. Barely a cloud in the sky. You can see on our satellite radar. Some snow for parts of New York State, but not touching us. Things are going to change very quickly, though. So right now, we're still in the clear. It's 41 degrees in New York City, 45 down the shore in New Jersey, and 44 out of Long Island, though we have dropped to the 30s for Hartford and Poughkeepsie, 37 and 38. So we're already seeing this cool down that's on its way. By the end of the evening, today's beautiful temperatures are going to be unrecognizable. But we have been dealing with some pretty strong winds. So right now, wind speeds between about 20 and 30 miles an hour. Wind gusts even stronger, 40 miles an hour right now in New York City, 41 for Hartford, and 41 for Newark as well. We will deal with these strong gusts of wind until later tonight. Then they'll calm down, and tomorrow doesn't look too bad. But here's what we're looking at temperature-wise, why I said it's going to be unrecognizable. By the time we get to about 8 p.m., 9 p.m., we're back in the 20s for New York, Long Island, and the teens for Poughkeepsie. Then we'll stay pretty clear, and tomorrow will be mostly fine, right? It'll be chilly and dry, and it'll be about the 20s and 30s. But then really late that night, about 10, 11 p.m., you might start seeing some flurries. Then in our overnight hours through Thursday morning, we'll have snow, rain, sleet that's going to come through, and it'll be out by about mid-afternoon Thursday. Arthur.
All right. Thank you very much, Liv. As we mentioned, we're following breaking news out of Sweden, where a mass shooting has killed 10 people, and police there say the death toll could rise. The gunman opened fire at an adult education center in the city of Örebro, which is located about 125 miles west of Stockholm. The gunman is dead, and police have raided his home. Investigators say, as things stand right now, there are no connections to terrorism. The Prime Minister is calling this the worst mass shooting in Sweden's history. Meanwhile, China announcing retaliatory tariffs on some American imports after President Trump's tariff on Chinese products went into effect. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt is live in the newsroom with what we know about this right now. Hey, Linda.
Hey there, Arthur. Well, first of all, the trade war is now on between the world's two largest economies. China now hitting back at President Trump and the U.S. with tariffs on U.S. imports, as well as announcing an antitrust investigation into Google and putting several companies on notice for possible sanctions. Chinese officials saying today it is going to impose a 15% tariff on oil and liquefied natural gas, which can be used to heat homes and businesses. It can also be used to fuel trucks, buses, and ships. China is also imposing a 10% tariff on crude oil, farm equipment like tractors, and large engine cars like Cadillacs and Lamborghinis. Now, if it sticks, those tariffs would go into effect on Monday. Now, it was yesterday that the president did put at least a 30-day pause in place for both Canada and Mexico after threatening to hit America's three largest trading partners with 25% tariffs. But Mexico and Canada, they ended up striking a last-minute deal with Trump yesterday, promising to secure the border and to stem the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. Now, no deal yet with China, which meant those 10% tariffs went into effect just after midnight. Trump saying Beijing has failed to stop the export of chemicals that are used in making fentanyl. In the meantime, other European leaders say they are prepared for a U.S. trade war if need be.
Trade wars benefit no one, and our first priority must be to avoid one, because a lose-lose situation benefits no one. Now, of course, Europe is also prepared for any outcome, and we will speak from a position of strength. Alone, put us all together. Individually, we are small players, but together we are a force to be reckoned with.
And President Trump's trade advisor saying that Trump will be speaking with Chinese officials some point today. Arthur, back upstairs to you.
Thank you very much, Linda. Turning our attention to New York State, Mayor Adams is in Albany for what is known as Tin Cup Day. He's testifying in front of state lawmakers, making a case for the new budget, asking to cut the income tax on the middle class. He also wants to expand the involuntary removal policy to take those struggling with mental health out of the subways and off our streets. But many of the questions Adams faced were focused on the migrant crisis.
I have reports that there are members of the NYPD asking parents and teachers for identification in front of public schools, particularly around dismissal time. Do you know of any such actions by the NYPD?
Well, listen, I always say, where all these rumors come from. I was on.
No, they're not rumors.
That's not happening. That's not happening. John, okay. Senator, let's be very clear. And if anyone is giving you a rumor or a lie that New York City police officers are participating in civil enforcement, that is a lie.
Now, Adams was also questioned on how the city is spending the $2.4 billion the state allocated for the migrant crisis. He says the city has spent only half of the amount so far. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman announcing this morning county police are joining ICE for enforcement operations there.
We are partnering with ICE to accomplish two things. Number one, we are going to cross-designate and embed Nassau County police detectives with ICE for the purposes of picking up targeted illegal migrants who've committed crimes, and then we will be detaining them in the jail as part of a short-term detainment program, at which time then ICE will find either a permanent detainment facility or they will simply deport the illegal migrants.
Blakeman goes on to emphasize the program is about illegal migrants who have committed crimes. A full report later today on the 5 o'clock news. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination for health secretary clears a major hurdle. The Senate Finance Committee voting to send his nomination to a floor vote despite concerns over his beliefs on vaccine safety that came up during his confirmation hearing, as well as the potential that he will profit off lawsuits over drug makers. Kennedy will need support from all but 3 Republicans if Democrats uniformly oppose him. And President Donald Trump is hosting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House today. The two leaders meeting to discuss the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Netanyahu is facing pressure from his right-wing coalition to end a temporary truce and to resume the war against Hamas militants in Gaza. Trump is guarded about the long-term prospects of that truce. Jury selection is now underway for the man charged with trying to kill Salman Rushdie. Prosecutors say Hadi Matar of Fairview, New Jersey, stabbed Satanic Verses author several times before a lecture in Western New York. This was back in 2022. Matar has pleaded not guilty to attempted murder and assault charges. He is also due to be tried on federal charges that the attack was motivated by an Islamic fatwa that called for Rushdie's death. New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer announcing legislation to make child care more affordable. Appearing at a child development center in Hackensack this morning, Gottheimer says the American Family Act fights to expand the child tax credit and quality child care for New Jersey residents. Parents would receive $3,600 a year in refunds as opposed to the $2,000 they're getting each year now. Gottheimer, who is running for governor, says New Jersey families spend half their paychecks on child care. The countdown is on to Valentine's Day, and a lot of people are on the hunt for love. Fox 5's Richard Jacobus has a look at how Gen Z has recently coined a new term for an old dating strategy called throning.
You know the old saying about dating, right? It's that classic idea of someone on the lookout for a partner who can offer financial support, a gold digger. But now there's a new trend among Gen Z that's taking the concept of gold digging to a whole new level.
Throning is a new trending dating term circulating social media.
Yes, throning is becoming the go-to strategy online for those looking to level up their dating life, aka dating someone who boosts your reputation, flaunting them for the world to see, theoretically putting them on a throne.
I don't think it's worth it to date someone because of status. You should date them because of their character and their heart.
I think there's a world where, if somebody was really well off or, it felt like a big leap up, I would I might buy into this whole throning thing.
These throners don't just show off a person's wealth either. They may date them simply because of their appearance, their accomplishments, and even social status.
You don't want to form a romantic relationship just based on what you can get from somebody. On the other hand, I do think that leveling up in our whole life and our dating life is really important.
But is a throning relationship healthy? Dating experts say yes, as long as it's a person you can learn and gain from.
That's on both sides. You should also be bringing something to the table so that a person can grow from being in a relationship with you.
It feels like the two ideas are kind of contradictory.
The true definition of love is you just need to love the person regardless of what their social status is or regardless of what they have, because deep down the foundation of love is the person and who they are.
So for all you hopeless romantics out there, the dating people say throning is fine as long as you don't lose sight of what the actual relationship is all about. Mutual love, respect, and responsibility. Then you can worry about the throning or putting someone on a pedestal. An early happy Valentine's Day. From Bryant Park, Richard Giacobas, Fox 5 News.
And then a lot of food for thought there. Looking outside, I was all optimistic, but Liv says it's about to come to an end. What's going on, Liv?
Well, you'll notice that the temperatures are going to get a lot cooler as we go through today and into the evening, but it stays pretty sunny. Tomorrow also is pretty sunny and just a mix of cloud cover and sunshine, but then late Wednesday things start to change a lot. We'll see a little bit of some snow action come through. At first it'll just be light, but then overnight, really early Thursday, we'll see some snow and some sleet. So think your commute, unfortunately, and then it will turn to rain eventually Thursday morning as the temperatures warm up. It should be out by about 11 or noon, but it looks like on our models we could get a few inches. I think this is overshooting a bit. We'll get between about ½ an inch and an inch and a half, but this could be more accurate for places like Bridgeport, Hartford, Poughkeepsie. Places north of the city could see about 2 to 4 inches of snow Thursday, and then we repeat that cycle over the weekend, Saturday into Sunday. Arthur?
All right, thanks very much, Liv. Well, Grand Central Terminal is getting a couple of new tenants in what the MTA is calling a retail renaissance. There are 2 new food options that are available as of today: Naya, which serves Middle Eastern fare, and Melba's, which serves Southern classics. 14 new eateries and shops have opened at Grand Central this year alone, filling up about 90% of its retail space, and more, we are told, is on the way. Palladino's Steak and Seafood and Jacques Torres Chocolate are set to open soon. Grammy Award-winning violinist Miri Ben-Ari performed at Newark Vocational High School this morning. She and her ensemble performed Symphony of Brotherhood to students from throughout that district. Ben-Ari created the program to stand against racism, hate, and anti-Semitism.
I believe that we're all in one space, and the idea is that the harmony we create with music, the same harmony, should also exist in society.
During the performance, Ben-Ari played with that violin there, which survived the Holocaust. That was made available to her for this event. That's the news block. I'm Arthur Chan. Thanks for joining us.